This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
New tonight, dozens of people are gathering in the Metro East to honor the life of a tow truck driver. Wade Bivens was hit and killed on Interstate 255 last week when another driver slammed into him. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. The 57-year-old was also a volunteer firefighter with the Prairie DuPont Fire Department. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer is live outside of tonight's memorial service. She has new details about a procession that will also take place this evening. Diamond.
Well, Mike and Kelly, Paw Paw Towing tells me that they've organized nearly 60 towing companies from Illinois and Missouri to participate in this procession that will follow Wade Bivens' memorial services. They tell me that Wade had worked for the towing company since April of this year, and losing Wade is like losing a member of their family. Now, on Wednesday, November 29th, around 10 a.m., Wade Bivens was hit and killed by another driver. Illinois State Police say he was responding to a broken down car on the right shoulder of Interstate 255 southbound and mile marker 6 near Dupo. Paw Towing says Wade's tow truck will be draped with black ribbon to show a sign of mourning. Through today's memorial and procession, the tow company says they hope to bring more awareness to the situation.
I have personally spoken with 62 different towing companies in the area. Some of them we're close with, some of them are a little bit more distant, but we've all come together as brothers and sisters of the towing community to honor Wade. They are overwhelming with their support and love for this situation. Everybody feels deeply for us and what the family is going through and what we're going through. It shouldn't have happened.
Now, the driver who hit Wade Bivens did stop and stay on the scene. Meanwhile, Mayor Herb Simmons will lead the eulogy tonight for Wade, followed by that procession with tow truck drivers and also fire departments in the area, including East Carondelet, Dupo, and Columbia. And we will be there for that service. Reporting live here in Dupo, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
All right, time now for our weather first forecast. It is a windy evening around St. Louis.
Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Castillo. It's also a little chilly.
Very chilly, yeah, very gusty out there. In fact, some of those gusts over 30 miles an hour. And right now, you can see St. Louis sustained wind at 20, gust to 28, and Chesterfield sustained at 17, gust to 28 miles an hour. So those higher wind gusts, Scott Air Force Base, 35 miles an hour. St. Charles, about 32 miles an hour. Also downtown St. Louis at the airport there on the east side. So the wind does relax tonight, and temperatures plummet to the upper 20s outside of St. Louis to 30 in the city. And the wind does die down after midnight northwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So the reason for the wind, this area of low pressure right around the Great Lakes, kind of whipping around that wind, and also a little bit of cloud cover in the air and some areas of drizzle can't be ruled out, especially on the Illinois side. But other than that, we're at 41 degrees in Lambert right now, humidity 73%, and it is windy. Much more on a warmer forecast before a pretty big storm system hits us this weekend.
All right, Jim. New information tonight about another pedestrian hit by a car outside Ted Drew's. The latest incident happened Friday night as a woman was walking across the street.
5 on your side's Andy Kroll is live outside Ted Drew's on Chippewa. And Andy, you have details on the steps being taken to prevent this from happening again.
Well, exactly. And St. Louis police received a call on Friday that there was a motor vehicle crash involving a pedestrian. That call came in at about 7:18 p.m. and police were on the scene just a few minutes later. The woman was sent to the hospital but is in good condition and has a few broken ribs. And now that we're on this busy Chippewa street, it's important to note that this kind of crash, it's happened before.
We just saw a lot of commotion outside, and then I was hearing a lot of noise outside, and people just looking towards the bank area, and yeah, it was scary.
Friday night, a woman was hit by a car as she was crossing Chippewa Street with her husband. They were visiting Ted Drew's Frozen Custard to get dessert or get their Christmas tree. The owner was unsure which. After the crash, the driver remained on scene and cooperated with the investigation. The woman was taken by paramedics to a nearby hospital with a few broken bones.
It's unfortunate that it happened, but I'm glad she's doing well.
Ted Drew's has been talking to the city for more than a year and a half about more safety precautions, especially after the death of a 17-year-old teenager from CBC here in July of 2022. just 2 months after a Washington University librarian was killed in May 2022.
It just started happening in the last few years. Why? I'm not sure, but it's always been the Route 66 here, and we've always had the traffic, so I'm not sure what the answer is, but we hope that something will be done to help.
Employees saying putting in a crosswalk here to get from one side of Chippewa Street to the other could be a crucial solution.
And maybe even another stoplight, you know, because people fly down here all the time. It's actually concerning too because we have people that actually like clean up the parking lot, like the younger kids, like the teenagers. So I'm just worried, you know. I feel like the city needs to do something about it.
I asked city officials why it's taken so long to install safety features like this. They told me they do have the funding thanks to Ward Capital, and it took some time to find the right contractors and have the infrastructure. It's going to be a two-phase process, with phase 1 starting with construction in June of 2024, and that's going to put in curb bump outs and fencing all along this road. Reporting live in St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Shrewsbury police are looking for 2 carjacking suspects. The victim parked his car at Weil Avenue and Jacobs Cole Road yesterday. When he got out, 2 men with guns came up to him. They stole his keys and drove off. The car was found early this morning after the suspects crashed it in Spanish Lake. If you have any information, you're asked to call police.
The Circuit Attorney of St. Louis delivered a verdict today on his own progress in office. Our Christine Byers breaks down what's changed 6 months in and what Gabe Gores wants to do next.
Gabe Gores took a by-the-numbers approach to his 6-month progress report. He says when he took office June 1st, there were 6,700 cases police sent to prosecutors that his predecessor, Kim Gardner's administration, hadn't even reviewed. 9 of them were homicides.
We reduced that backlog to about 4,200 cases.
He's been on a hiring spree, too.
When I arrived, there were 25 attorneys already in the office, and we've hired 24 attorneys in 6 months.
He says when he first started, there were 250 homicide cases pending. Usually, he says, there's only about 100 to 150.
We don't have the capacity within this office to handle 250 homicides. That's more than 100% of what typically is pending.
Gores also balanced his law and order tone with some progressive ideas, too, including a conviction integrity unit that is reviewing 3 cases and rebuilding a diversion program that gives alternatives to prison sentences.
Our office has retaken its place in the criminal justice system. We are performing that role.
The big question is whether Gores will run for office next year. So far, he hasn't committed one way or the other, but today he said his interest in running for office is intensifying. Christine Byers, 5 on your side.